All right, it's about time. I know I should. This is definitely something that I should have done last month when I released this book right here, Lasting Love. But I was I was having a little bit of money troubles, and I couldn't afford to get this book. And it was either get a copy of this book or not pay a bill. And I had to make a choice in that, so I chose to make sure all my bills would pay for, and I can get a copy later. As a writer, I do not get a free copy. I do not get an author's copy, basically, for my book. I have to actually buy a copy of my book. I know it sucks. You know, as the author, you think you could at least get one free copy, especially when you're using BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon. You think they would give you a free copy, but they don't. They charge even the author for a copy of their own book when you're looking to get an author's copy. So I had to wait a little while. So here we are. It is June, and it is June 6th. Damn, it is June 6th. So I had to wait a couple weeks before I was able to afford a copy of my own book. So here we are. And I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to my social media book tour for A Lasting Love. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the book. I'm going to read just like the first, just the very beginning of this book. There you go. So, starting off, how I came up with this idea for A Lasting Love. Honestly, I found myself rewatching episodes of ER from start to finish. And I came across an episode of ER of an old couple. And this old man is sitting with his wife, hoping that she wakes up. And he begins to tell Carter a little bit about his wife, about how she's a fighter, how she doesn't give up and all this stuff. And I looked at that. I watched that full scene, and it was a very beautiful scene. I mean, sadly, the wife does die, and it's a very sad, emotional scene, and it's beautiful. But so after that scene, I paused it, and this idea came to me of a love story, and I was in the middle of finishing up a previous love story called Life and Love, and this other idea for this love story came to me of an old couple, and it was going to start well into the future, and this old man is holding his wife's hand, and a doctor comes in to check on the wife, and the man, just like in the episode, tells the doctor a little bit about his wife, about how she's a fighter and all this stuff, and then the doctor goes away, and then the old man begins to think back to when he first met his wife, and it goes all the way back in time. And then so the book starts in 2057, and they're an old couple, Arthur and Rebecca. Rebecca is fighting for her life. Arthur is holding his wife's hand, and Arthur begins to reminisce about when he first met his wife in 1986. 85, and the story goes from there. We go all the way back to the mid-1980s, and we follow Arthur and Rebecca on this journey that they take where they meet, they fall in love, they go to college, they separate for a while, and but through that, during those college years, they see people, but they date other people, but they don't feel for those people what they've always felt for each other. And eventually they get back together, they get married, and you follow them as they're on this journey of life together, as they have and share this special, unique kind of love with each other, and we follow them all through their lives together, starting their careers, they get married, having kids, watching their kids grow up, living in San Jose, California, which is where this story mostly takes place in Northern California. So between Sonoma and Arthur at one point going to school at UCLA in Los Angeles, Rebecca going to school in Washington, D.C., and how they're states apart from each other, but that love stays so strong and brings them back together like a magnet. And you just follow them through their lives together all the way until their deaths individually. First Rebecca and then Arthur. It is this beautiful story of how love can last, how everybody looks at love differently, but finds love so special and unique to them in their own different ways. And Arthur and Rebecca share this special and unique love that we read about in A Lasting Love. The ups, the downs of it. It's a great story. One of my favorite stories that I've written, one of my more challenging stories that I've written, especially because of how much future that I have to go. Because once I get past 25 and 26, I'm really using politics using stuff that's happening in the news, politics and all that stuff that's happening now to shape the future of what it looks like in the 2030s, 40s, 50s, and into like the 2050s, and how America could possibly look based on how things are happening now with prices going up from gas to groceries and everything else in between, how electric cars begin to be the thing that more people are driving these days, and how things just change in general, and how all that stuff is happening in the background while I'm telling the story of Arthur and Rebecca and their love together for all these years to come. So A Lasting Love is available on barnesandnoble.com and on Amazon, and there's a Linktree link in my bio. Go ahead and click on that. That'll take you to my Linktree page where you will see A Lasting Love, as well as many other books and short stories I have available now. Before I go, here I'm going to read just a little something from A Lasting Love. This is the prelude. It's called Young Love, A Teenage Love, and it starts Sunday, November 7th, 2055, and then as Arthur begins to reminisce, he reminisces to fall of 1985 in Sonoma, California, and it goes on from there. So I'm just going to read just a little bit from right here. Sunday, November 7th, 2055, an old man sits at the bedside of his wife as she lies still. Her eyes are closed and she's hooked on medical machines as she's fighting for her life. The doctor walks into the hospital room and checks on the old man's wife. Little something right there from A Lasting Love, just the very beginning of this book. Once again, if you'd like to check it out, link is in my bio. Go ahead and click on that. That'll take you to my Linktree page where you will see A Lasting Love, which is available on barnesandnoble.com and on Amazon. I am Anthony K. Thomas. This has been my social media book tour for A Lasting Love. Hope all you have a good, fun, and safe day. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all on that next one. Peace, y'all.